Hello, good afternoon. You're watching Midday Live with me, Portia Gabo. Coming up. Rector of Ghana Institute of Journalism describes as false claims by students that they are required to pay their fees in full before being allowed to write exams. Ghana joins the world to mark Disability Day. We will find out challenges faced by children with special needs in accessing education. And in international news, thousands of commuters forced to walk to work in Nairobi as a ban on public minibuses from accessing the city center takes effect. We first begin with education, where the rector of the Ghana Institute of Journalism, Professor Kwamina Kwansedu, says students are peddling falsehood against management, insisting it is not true they are required to pay their fees in full before being allowed to write exams. Speaking with TV3's Godfred Tanam, he said management will continue to insist on the right thing and will not deny any eligible students from writing exams.
Some students have paid their fees, and then the argument is that no matter what it is, they will pay their fees, but they were disallowed from writing their exams. Is it not fair to argue in that direction that they will pay? Why don't you allow them to write?
Historically, there are some that actually never get around to paying. There are loads of certificates lying around of students who have completed GIJ and haven't paid their fees, so they haven't been given their certificates. They haven't come back for the certificates. In the meantime, they have come here, we have put arrangements in place, they have sat in our classrooms, we have had lecturers teach them, we have had people mark their exams, we have done all of those things that you do for every student. And yet, the final thing, the money hasn't been paid for. How long can we continue to run an institution like that?
Are we considering the economic situation where some people struggle so hard before they get the money for school fees? Are we considering that?
We understand that paying school fees is not easy. But running an institution is not easy either. The institution runs on these academic facility user fees that students pay. Now, imagine a situation where we say, for example, that, well, students haven't paid their fees, so we won't pay our part-time lecturers, or we won't pay the people that print our booklets, or we won't pay our electricity bill. If our electricity was cut because we haven't paid our electricity bill, it will be news, right? Will that be responsibility on our part?
One concern they also raise is there's a software that their payment of the school fees is supposed to reflect in, which some of them are not even aware that there was something like that. They did it manually, and at the end of the day, they were still not allowed to write.
Students have been told over and over and over again that you pay your fees, you register online. All we are trying to do is to come up with a system that works better, and we have. The students know this. We give them deadline upon deadline upon deadline. We have communicated this to them on a number of occasions.
What is the challenge here? If they know all these, what is the challenge? Why did they decide to embark on a demonstration yesterday?
I think that's a question for them. I have heard all sorts of things in the media, and most of them are falsehoods. One of the things that I heard was that we are asking students to pay their full fees, 100%. They said it used to be 60 and 40 and 80 and 20, and now we are insisting that they pay. No, we are not unreasonable.
And on Sunday, trouble broke out on the GIJ campus after some students were denied the chance to write their end-of-semester exams over non-payment of fees. It took the intervention of the Ghana Police Service for the situation to be brought under control.
The Sunday confusion erupted as a result of school fees issues, which the students say is a problem from school management.
People paid entirely the 60% which they require of us. But the truth is, the GIJ has a very poor software system. If you try to log on or log in, it doesn't allow you. They act as if they don't know that the school is not having a better software. You can pay all the money, you can never register until you go to them after several trials before they will be able to help you do.
They have introduced a new system. That is the student portal. initially, times before, you can go and pay, and then when you go to academic affairs, they'll just key in your details. That thing is not available anymore. So you have a lot of students who have paid their fees. They are wielding their receipts, but then they are still telling them that they won't allow them to write the exams, and I don't think it's fair.
The students say they are usually required to pay 80% of the fees for fresh students and 60% for continuing students, but that policy has since been changed without communication from authorities.
The new rector tells us that there is no resit. Now it is a retake. So if you miss a paper this year, this semester, you will have to wait. You can't graduate in 2019. You have to go and graduate in 2020. And you are paying 500 cedis per paper. Even now that we are in the system, we are finding it very difficult to pay the fees. Then you tell me to come back for a retake. I mean, I don't know what happened to GIG.
The students lamented the institute that teaches communication lacks the ability to communicate appropriately.
GIG is very, I would say, lazy in communicating to we the students on time. With regards to such a development, just puts us ahead of time. We level 300s, we have been used to registering online, but in this semester we did manual. So the system is just messed up, honestly speaking.
I don't know the effect, the change that the new rector has brought, that has suddenly crippled everybody. When you go to UCC, they have that facility. If you are not able to pay your fees, you are allowed to write the exam. Your certificate will be withheld till you pay the fees, and then you take your thing. When you go to GIMPA, same as this. Go to UPSA, you will find same. People have paid the 100%, but we're not able to get onto the student portal. They are having their receipts. Why are you preventing the person from writing the exam?
Meanwhile, a press statement issued by the school's management says the school is open and will continue with its examination schedule as planned, despite protests that led to its suspension on Sunday. A statement signed and issued by the head of public affairs of GIG, Naneku Ajuman-Bedu, indicated that students who have paid their fees and registered are eligible to take part in the examinations, adding that the concerns of some students who paid their fees and were unable to register and write the exams will be addressed. An earlier statement by the Students' Representative Council on Sunday asked students not to continue with exams until the impasse is resolved. And away from education, today is World Disability Day, and majority of children with special needs, especially cerebral palsy, are not in school because there are not enough public schools to cater for their needs, while private schools available charge exorbitant fees, compelling some parents to leave their wards at home.
Ni Ofeidodo is a taxi driver. The nature of his work demands his attention for more than 12 hours every day. He, however, has a challenge. Ni has a 15-year-old daughter, Na, with special needs. He assumed full responsibility of his daughter, Na, when her mother could no longer cater for her needs. Na's condition started at birth when her mother had prolonged labor.
She's improving, but sometimes it's painful.
Na cannot talk and finds herself confined to a wheelchair. Due to the nature of her father's job, he has to leave her at home all by herself and only passes through in the afternoon to give her food. Unfortunately, attempts to enroll Na in school has not been successful.
The last time I checked on, I think they have school at Jowulu. I went there, they told me unless she can walk, before they will admit her. I told her she can't do anything. They said, oh, that one there, they can't do anything. Since then, I haven't tried anywhere again.
As a man, he finds it difficult sometimes caring for her peculiar needs.
She's a girl, and I'm a man. Certain things, as a man, you can't do it, but I try to sacrifice.
Certain things like?
Right now, she's having his menses. I have to change it. for her. When she urinates, I have to change it. She have to wear pampers, toilet, everything. So it's not easy.
Ni is not the only parent with the challenge of getting an education for children with special needs. In Ghana, there aren't enough public schools to cater for children with special needs. Even though the cost of education is free, the few private schools available charge exorbitantly, with fees ranging between 2,500 to 2,800 cedis a term and others charging $3,000 a term.
We had a parent about 3-4 years ago, 6 schools actually, refused admission to the son. We asked, why would you refuse a child? And then they said the stigma is so huge. The first time we accepted a child with cerebral palsy in the classroom, we had a lot of parents withdrawing their children, thinking that it's contagious.
The situation has compelled some parents to resign from their work to cater for their ward's home. Memuna Tumusa has a ward with cerebral palsy. She has to juggle between going to work daily and taking care of her daughter.
She's not in school. I took her to a private school, which is a special needs school. They said they would take $500 a month, which I cannot afford. I went to another school. That one too, she says she would take $700 a month. For the $700 I can afford, but the transportation and the feeding, if I add to it, it's getting to about 1,000 plus. So I decided that I can't make it.
Access to education, lack of safe facilities where children can be accepted for staying while parents go to work are some challenges affecting parents of wards with special needs. The Special Mothers Project, a network of parents whose wards have cerebral palsy, have outlined some solutions.
If your child is not walking and talking, there is no place for a child like that in this country. We are saying to mothers that even though we want government to come in, let's do something to help ourselves. Maybe we could group ourselves and then one person could decide that I'm taking your children, give me something affordable so that the rest can go to work, and then it will become an income generating thing for the mothers. Someone suggested the call center at ECG that you can stay home and do. I think that government should consider giving mothers of children with cerebral palsy that priority.
As Ghana joins the rest of the world to mark Disability Day, there is the need to make a concerted effort to ensure that children with special needs, especially those with cerebral palsy, are not denied their right to education. Portia Gabo, TV3 News, Accra.
And inclusive education, according to the United Nations, means pupils with special needs spending part or the entire hours in school with their peers without any form of disabilities in the mainstream schools. However, the Ghana Education Service continues to segregate pupils with special needs in either special schools or inclusive units in mainstream schools. A report by Zubeida Ismail.
This is the Yumba Special School, the only school for children with intellectual disabilities in the Northern, Upper East and Upper West regions. It was initially incorporated in Our Lady of Fatima in Sakasaka in Tamale in the late 90s, where a unit was allocated for pupils. The Barclays Bank Ghana in 2003 constructed a 3-classroom block and a staff common room at its current location at Womali. More infrastructure was provided through GET Fund to complement the existing structures. Our first visit coincided with the school's sports day.
Ready, go, go! Come on! Come on! Come on!
Our next stop was the Dakimas cluster of schools, where we gathered. The Ghana Education Service was operating an inclusive educational system. However, students with intellectual disabilities had been segregated, a system which defies the Sustainable Development Goal on inclusive education. All 11 students with intellectual disabilities had been placed in the same class despite their levels of engagement and age difference. We gather this class has only one teacher, but usually supported by a volunteer.
30, 31, 32, 33.
The UN's Convention on Inclusive Education defines inclusive education to be a system where special children are put in the mainstream in the same class with children without special needs. And so today we ask whether what we see here at the Dakema Basic School can be classified as inclusive education.
In the class 4 of the same school as Zakaria Al-Hassan. However, 12 years Al-Hassan, though intellectually disabled, has defied the educational authorities. He prefers to be with his peers and has progressed from basic 1 to 4. His difficulty in reading from his textbooks due to his condition was evident. The Sustainable Development Goal 4 focuses on eliminating disparities and ensuring equal access to all levels of education and vocational training.
We don't want to sort of put them in the system and then they are formally evaluated, examined, and then there's some sort of promotion for them. No, just to keep them in the school, socialize them. They learn a few livelihood skills, and it is okay for them to make a living, but not actually to put them in the system. They come out for employment.
The Tamale Metropolitan Director of Education, Johnson Kobana Asare, noted special schools for pupils with intellectual disabilities are fashioned out to promote their safety.
These children are seen as spirit children. The recognition and attention that is given to the rest of the children, the same is not extended to these children. So they feel despised, and to the extent that sometimes when the parents see that there's a visitor coming, they go to hide. Teachers do it in a very diplomatic way.
He insists special education in teacher training institutions, though compulsory, must be enforced if the country wants to make a headway.
Before Ghana be sanctioned, there should be a study of the situation. Is it deliberate? Is it lack of facility that we are not putting them in the mainstream? What are the challenges? We have the capacity to mainstream all of them. If not, then probably we may need some technical advice.
He advocated intensive education on the rights of children with disabilities to serve as a catalyst in ensuring equity. Zubaida Ismail, TV3 News, Tamale.
You're still watching Midday Live from the News Hub, and we will be going back to the Ghana Institute of Journalism, where a press conference is currently underway. But before that, the Ashanti Regional Health Directorate is confident HIV prevalence rate in the region will reduce when the 2018 report is released. The Ashanti region in 2017 topped the national ratings with a 3.2% prevalence rate. A report by Beatrice Spiogabra.
World AIDS Day is observed globally on December 1 every year. 2018 marks the 30th anniversary of the global commemoration of the day with the theme, Know Your Status. Ghana chose a sub-theme, Test, Treat to suppress and stop new HIV infections. Regional Technical Coordinator of the Ghana AIDS Commission, Olivia Graham, told TV3 the theme is in line with the UNAIDS 1990 fast-track targets in responding to the HIV epidemic.
When you are on treatment, we are able to suppress the viral load in you. When your viral load is suppressed, then the probability of you infecting new people is very reduced.
Despite increased awareness to end discrimination and stigmatization, persons living with HIV are still discriminated against. The Ghana AIDS Commission Act 938/2016 makes stigmatization and discrimination against persons living with HIV a criminal act punishable by law. Deputy Director of Health in charge of Public Health, Dr. Ewuzi Yabua, disclosed there have been improvement in the number of pregnant women tested.
We need to intensify our sensitization efforts and then encourage people to test. People don't go to test to know their status. And this is not an incurable disease any longer. It becomes incurable only when it degenerates into the AIDS level.
The World AIDS Day was commemorated as a party in the Etuma Nwadweja municipality. Municipal Chief Executive Michael Amwa Ewuku expressed worry 175 persons tested positive out of 2,000 persons screened in only 2 communities in the municipality. A float by school pupils through the municipality was used to create awareness about HIV.
You're still watching Midday Live from the News Hub, and coming up is the MTN video report. And today, our citizen journalist Rashid reports on the bad nature of the main road in Kede in the eastern region.
This is the road lead from Achim Kede, Kwai, New Abrim, and Koko and Kumase. This is the nature of the road. Drivers, motor riders and bicycle riders are even finding it difficult to pass on this road. We are appealing to the government to come to our aid and help us with this road. This is Rashid reporting live from Achim Kede.
You can also send your video report via WhatsApp number 055-1433-044. Let's now go back to the campus of the Ghana Institute of Journalism, where a press conference is currently underway, and my colleague Godfred Tanam is standing by. Well, before we get through to Godfred, earlier the school's management issued a press release saying that the school is open and will continue with its examination schedule as planned. Let's go back to the press conference.
Writing their exam, that is the morning batch, have finished writing their exams, and here there is another examination to be taking place at 1 o'clock. And as it stands now, management is putting things together to get to talk to the media. That is a press conference that will be going on very soon, any moment from now. And then students have finished writing their exams, and everything is calm here, and they are waiting. Some are waiting. Those who are writing their exams in the afternoon are waiting to write their exams. And in fact, from the information we gathered, we realized that the students who couldn't pay their examination fee were not given the opportunity to write the exams. Those who wrote the exams were only those who finished paying their fee, and all those who had problems or challenges with their school fees were not given the opportunity to pay. And we will be moving into the hall to listen to what the management will be telling us. The press conference that will be going on, we'll be finding out exactly what they'll be telling us, and also ask questions as to exactly what should be done to make sure that this challenge is addressed.
Well, thank you very much, Godfred, for that update. You're still watching Midday Live from the News Hub. We have more news coming up shortly. Do stay with us. Hello again, it's now time for business news, and checks by TV3 Business reveal that fuel prices have dropped at the pumps at some major oil marketing companies by close to 5%. Per the new price, a litre of petrol or diesel sells for 4 cedis 98 pesos, a 5% reduction from 5 cedis 10 pesos. The reduction predicted by the Institute of Energy Security is in line with the drop in international petroleum prices and relative stability of the cedi. In other business news, former Chief Executive of the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation, GNPC, Chachu Chikata, and the former Chief Executive of the Volta River Authority, Dr. Charles Rekobobe, have been given a lifetime achievement for their contribution in structuring the oil and gas industry in the country. This was during the second Ghana Energy Awards held in Accra.
The Ghana Energy Awards is to acknowledge the efforts, innovation and excellence of stewards and to celebrate industry players. former CEO of GMPC, Chachuchi Kata, and former CEO of VRA, Dr. Charles Rekubrobe, were given Lifetime Achievement Award for pioneering the structures in the oil and gas industry in the country.
The vision of GMPC has always been a vision of promoting the excellence of Ghanaians in the upstream petroleum sector, of ensuring that we take our destiny into our own hands. We still are at a very early stage in unearthing that potential. So I would just encourage those that are there now to maintain that vision.
Dr. Rekubrobe's award was picked on his behalf. The Institute of Industrial Research of the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research was adjudged the Energy Efficient Organization of the Year. The director of the institute, Dr. Francis Boateng Ajenim, indicated with the right resources, government institutions can compete with the private sector.
The Institute of Industrial Research, which is mandated to take research output from universities and from every part of the country and commercialize these or support industry in commercializing this.
In other news, Governor of the Bank of Ghana has called on mining companies to abide by the retention agreement to help retain some foreign currencies in the country. The agreement is aimed at preventing mining companies from keeping all their earnings outside the country after selling their products.
Speaking at the 4th Ghana Mining Industry Awards held in Accra, Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Addison, urged mining companies to abide by the agreement and repatriate their earnings into the country. He stressed the need for large-scale gold-producing companies to adhere to the Bank of Ghana's regulation on the repatriation of receipts from the exports of commodities. This, he said, will contribute significantly to Ghana's macroeconomic fundamentals and the stability of the city. The governor also added the retention agreement is an obligation binding on all mining companies to bring back part of their earnings into the country.
And that's it for the business segment. In other news, Chairman of the NDC, Samuel Ofosu-Ampofo, says the National Executive Council, NEC, would dialogue with the party's flag bearer aspirants who have raised concerns over the nomination and filing fees. His comments come after some presidential aspirants petitioned the party's founder, Jerry John Rawlings, to intervene after the release of the party's guidelines. Speaking on 3FM's morning show Sunrise, Ofosu-Ampofo, however, warned the executives would not tolerate insults from any flag-bearer aspirants.
The announcement of the NDC's guidelines for the conduct of the party's January 19 flag-bearership elections has generated a huge debate, particularly over the filing fee of 400,000 Ghana cedis by each candidate. Some candidates have petitioned the party's founder, Jerry John Rawlings, to intervene. Chairman of the NDC, Ofosu-Ampofo, says it will dialogue with the candidates.
The minority in parliament were fully represented. The national FEC, the functional executive, were fully represented. Everybody was there. It was a full-house decision. So for anybody to attempt to denigrate the decisions of the party and call it unlawful, when we have gone through lawful means, I am saying that the party is prepared to dialogue with all our social partners and all our critical partners. So if the flag-bearer aspirants raise any issue in a petition, it must be dealt with expeditiously.
He, however, observed some candidates are writing to the National Executives Council, NEC, to insult them, which he warned the party would not countenance.
And as a chairman of the party, I have insisted that discipline will be the order of the day. You cannot say you want to be a flag bearer and so, for that matter, you insult the whole party machinery. We are not going to take that at all. And I want to repeat it here. Nobody is above the party. All of us are subject under the dictates of the party constitution. The fact that you want to be a flag bearer doesn't mean that you can have the leeway to write and insult the whole party machinery. We will not take it. And if anybody describes the party national executive in unprintable language, when they appear before us, they will be made to withdraw that statement before we even engage them.
He expressed disappointment over some candidates who say they will not contribute towards the elections.
The Ghana Police Service is clamping down on private security organizations which have failed to wear approved uniforms. This was after a deadline given elapsed last month. In a bid to streamline the activities of private security firms, the Inspector General of Police in 2017 launched 3 prescribed sets of uniforms for the private security organizations, but some of them are yet to comply. David Asantia Piotu, who outdoored the uniforms at the police headquarters, said the proliferation of unapproved uniforms being used by some of the private security firms is a great concern for the service. Let's go on the phone line and speak with Peter Kwao Adato, who is with the police conducting this operation. Good afternoon, Peter, and thanks for your time.
Good afternoon, Portia.
Peter, can you give us an update of the exercise?
Yes, as you rightly said, the exercise elapsed in October this year, and last month was set aside as a reminder and a campaign to make sure that everybody comply with the directives. But it appears most private companies have not been doing so. So this week has been dedicated to go around and then ensure that everybody complies. This exercise this morning started around 9 a.m. and the first contact is the Spinters Road through airport. We ended up getting 8 private companies which have failed to comply with the directives. These companies are Escort, Omega, Stallion, First Watch Security, GSSL, Westtech, Go Security, GES Security, and Epsilon Security. These are the 8 companies that we got from airport, Shell, to the Spinters Road. We have also got 2 companies which have fully complied with the directive and they need to be met with Solid Rock and UT Security. They have complied wearing the approved uniform. According to the rule, these companies, because it is an exercise not fully to ensure that they deprive these service users of their security, one person from each spot is taken away to inform the owners of that particular company to report the police headquarters to be prosecuted. According to the law, these companies are going to be prosecuted and they will face either 1 million cedis fine or 1 year imprisonment or license being revoked. This will be determined by the court which one to apply to them. This exercise continue tomorrow throughout the week, and as I said, it is a form of a reminder. So they will pick one person just to let the owners come for prosecution. But the spot where these companies are arrested, if tomorrow they are still wearing it, nobody will be spared.
Right.
According to the issue, to the companies who are using these services are reminded that after this exercise, if you again continue to accept people who are using the wrong uniform at your premises, you are also liable for prosecution. Portia.
Thank you very much, Peter, for that update. You're still watching Midday Live from the News Hub. Let's now go to the Ashanti region, where scientists at the Crop Research Institute of the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research say they have identified 3 pesticides to tackle armyworms. This was after the piloting of a number of chemicals on an infected maize farm. A report by Ibrahim Abubakar.
The invasion of fall armyworms on hundreds of acres of maize farms caused devastation across the country last year. Livelihoods of thousands of farmers were destroyed. Government provided chemicals to affected farmers to control the spread of the pests. Some farmers have, however, complained about the efficacy of the chemicals in managing the pests. Scientists at the Crops Research Institute embarked on a bioefficacy study of selected insecticides to help identify best products to manage and control the worm infestations. Lead researcher and entomologist Alhaji Ibrahim Adama says 3 out of the 9 insecticides studied were found to be efficacious.
The chemicals we have are effective. So we now have to sensitize the farmers on the ways of doing the application or trying to protect their crops.
Some maize farmers who visited the pilot field were satisfied with the efficacy of some of the insecticides such as Bipel, Strike and Viper.
It has given me more knowledge about the drugs.
The farmers have been asked to frequent their farms in the first 9 to 15 days for early detection of any attack. According to the researchers, farmers are being exposed to the most effective insecticides. The study is being undertaken at Aframso in the Ejura-Sechidumasi municipality. It is in collaboration with the German development agency GIZ. Meanwhile, the Crop Research Institute is set to introduce a new maize variety onto the market. The yellow corn is high-yielding and disease-resistant.
And Ghana's Most Beautiful has been adjudged the Outstanding Women Pageant of the Year at the maiden edition of the Outstanding Women's Award. TV3's news anchor Wendy Lai also grabbed the Outstanding Woman Television Host Awards.
The award seeks to celebrate women who have made significant contribution to their community through exceptional leadership and sustained dedication to humanity. The all-female group Lipstick Band treated audience to some live band music. In all, 25 awards, including honorary awards, were given out to some deserving individuals and corporate organizations in Ghana. TV3's Ghana's Most Beautiful picked up the Outstanding Woman Pageant Award. 2015 Ghana's Most Beautiful Queen, Abigail Basiara Benti, also walked away with Outstanding Woman Beauty Queen.
The winner is Wendy Laria.
TV3's Wendy Lai was adjudged Outstanding Woman TV host.
I'm honored. It's overwhelming, and long and short, it's an honor.
There's been so many award events out there, but beauty queens have never been recognized. So when I heard that we were about to be celebrated and honored, I was glad. Fortunately, I was nominated, and glory be to God, we have won it.
We are pleased and will continue to do our best. I think Ghana's Most Beautiful has come to stay and will continue to change the life of the young ladies.
Congrats to Wendy and Ghana's Most Beautiful. In other entertainment news, budding Afro dancehall songstress Yaira is gearing up to take the music scenes by storm. The dancehall sensation's latest work, Boss Girl, urges women to be audacious, dream big and work hard to make it happen. Yaira is poised to brave the odds. The one for me, girl. Every woman got to say, shawty did that one. The one for me, girl. Starting off as a rapper, Yaira later switched up to do Afro dancehall. Yaira fell in love with the music genre after years of taking inspiration from big names including Vybz Kartel and Jamaican recording artist Spice. The singer now looks all geared up to take the music scenes by storm. Her single, Boss Girl, inspires women to be audacious in chasing their dreams.
Any female who is doing something for herself, like she can relate to the song, that like have some vision, set their minds to some goals, and then try as much as possible to achieve it. When you achieve it, you become proud of yourself, and then your family to also be proud of you. So
Yaira comes into the scenes with punchy lyrics, style, flair, and a bit of attitude.
One, I have the look. The vibe is there. You have to have some kind of fire in you as a female or as a dancehall artist, and I know I have that zeal.
Hey, well, I'm a rude girl with an attitude. What you gonna do, boy? Chilling with my crew.
The question of who Ghana's dancehall queen is came to the fore in the year 2017. The throne appears vacant. Is Yaira eyeing the title?
I want the masses to feel and then crown me as, I don't want to claim that, yes, I'm this or I'm that. I want them to rather say that, yeah, you are. So.
The budding talent hopes to prove a point by exciting fans with good content and, of course, set tongues wagging with some controversy.
A lot of piercings here. I've seen 2 here. I saw 3 at the other. So you have 5. Why that? Is it part of that attitude that a dancer queen should possess?
And me, I like piercings. It's just my ears, but I'm thinking of doing my belly.
Why?
It's nice, it's sexy, so can't do.
Do you believe in controversies? Yeah. Exposing more flesh?
It helps.
Just to get the headlines.
Yeah, they see, their eyes are like, oh, so it's fun. And as an entertainer, you have to do what keeps your fans excited.
That comes with a lot of pressure. Are you ready for the pressure?
Yeah, sure. As an artist, you should be ready for everything. If you are in the game, we go in to win. So.
Yeah, right, you know, say me bad, big booty, get back to the bone. See them as watching me like I'm an idol. Want my girls, show me what you got. Show the boys save you wrong time tonight.
And that's it for Midday Live. Thanks so much for watching. My name is Portia Gabo. Enjoy the rest of our programs. Good afternoon.